Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Moms on a Mission podcast. I'm your host, Miriam Shaw. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you probably are so overwhelmed with excitement and relief now that we have voted for President Donald J. Trump to become our 47th president. President-elect Donald Trump is going to go back into the White House in January. And I don't know about you, but I am so overjoyed and excited. And so we have a special guest today. We're going to talk again with Carrie Prejean Boller just to break down the election results and to encourage us that even though we won this battle, the war is not over and we still need to keep fighting. Before she joins us, though, one way that we can prepare for whatever happens economically is to purchase some gold and silver. I am now a broker with Miles Franklin Precious Metals, and it's such an exciting time to get into this market. I get every 2 weeks, I get some silver. If you want gold, that's there too. And they're having some of the best returns ever in the gold and silver market. But silver is really an easy way to get in because it's affordable. So if you just email me at moms@momsonamission.net, I can give you a call and we can talk about all the different options and the pricing. They've been in business for 34 years and have over 10 billion in sales. So it's almost impossible to beat their pricing. So just email me, moms@momsonamission.net. The dollar is deflating, people. The inflation is rising, and this little piece of paper is not inherently doesn't have value, but gold and silver does. So email me, moms@momsonamission.net, and hedge against inflation today and protect your family, protect your wealth, and protect your legacy. So without further ado, please welcome to the Moms on a Mission podcast, Carrie Prejean Boller. Carrie Prejean Boller, welcome back to the Moms on a Mission podcast. I've been so looking forward to talking to you. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So I just have to tell you, I am so overwhelmed with complete excitement about this election. I just, what a comeback story of all comeback stories with this election. And I think what shocked me the most was how decisive this victory was, and that we knew who won the election within a 12 or 24-hour period. And, after 2020, they've conditioned us that, oh, no, you're not going to know for 4 or 5 days. So I just was so beautifully surprised by that. But I mean, I just talking about it now, I get goosebumps. I'm so grateful because of all the passion and the hard work that you and, a lot of other women, Sage Steele and Riley Gaines and so many folks use their platforms to speak truth. And I just would so love to know how you felt and what you're feeling now after these results. And we know that President Donald J. Trump is going to be our 47th president.
I know. I was stayed up so late that night watching with my family. My kids were there, and it was just such a relief, like leading up to it. I knew he was going to win. I mean, I had people coming up to me every day leading up until the election, and they're like, I'm so nervous. Are we going to win? And I would just say, yeah, we're going to win. Not only are we going to win, but we're going to win huge. Like, we're going to win the popular vote. Like, he's going to win in a landslide. And so I just had this peace. And then once it, finally was revealed that he was, in fact, our 47th president, I was just like, oh, we can rest now. And really now is the time that we build, Miriam. Now is the time that we not just wait behind President Trump to do all the work, but we go with him and we build with him. And so that's what I'm excited about, is the work is just beginning now.
Absolutely. I wanted to talk to you about that because I think, well, first of all, I wanted to point out the fact that I didn't want to go to bed that night because I think I was still suffering from PTSD. I was like,
Yeah.
husband, I don't want to close my eyes. It's kind of like waiting for Santa, like the
Oh,
little kid
yeah.
Santa, but in the worst possible way. I just thought the
Mhm.
moment I close my eyes, some shady business is going to occur. And so
Yeah.
I was determined. I'm like, I am not going to sleep. I don't want to hear about voting or the counting
Yeah.
stopping, or electricity suddenly going out in some area, swing state. Like I was not about to tolerate that, and definitely didn't
Yeah.
want to sleep through it. So that's why I stayed up until we absolutely knew. I would not even go to bed until Wisconsin was called because after Pennsylvania was called, my husband said, "Oh, Alaska, it always goes red. It's Republican." I'm like, "Nope, nope. Until I see
Yeah.
270 on that screen, I am not going to sleep." I mean, I was so freaked out by what happened in 2020. And so, but I love that your kids were involved, as my son was too. In fact, this was the first year he got to vote. And what an election to get to vote for the first time in, right? Like, it was just so incredible. The polling area, the precincts, there are lines out the door, and it was just so incredibly exciting. And as a mom, it brings me no greater joy than, I mean, this is how you teach your kids history, right? Like, you
Mhm.
live it with them and you talk to them about it. It's not just some boring thing they're reading in a book.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's so cool. And that's awesome that your son got to vote for the first time. And what really encourages me, I posted this morning, these students from Liberty University, and they went out at 2 a.m. with their Trump flags and just their American flags and, ran through the halls and ran through the campus. And we're just singing and just praising God that Trump won the election. And so it gives me hope for the future. I'm so thankful that the young people, and I want to give a shout out to Charlie Kirk. I mean, he was
Yeah.
on every college campus, and just seeing him and when he broke down and was crying, just made me so emotional. Like, the American people did this. We did this. We all did this. Trump did this. The church did this. Like, this was huge, and we all, deserve the credit for it.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up because I thought this was such a fascinating race because really it brought together some interesting groups of people, Carrie. I think you would agree. I mean, we see gays against groomers posting things, I'm like, this is so wild. This Republican, the breadth of the swath of Republicans and conservative voices joining together like nothing I've ever seen. And it was so fascinating to me to see people from all walks of life. And I really believe, I don't know what you think, but I think that the Democrats, they overstepped their bounds. I mean, they just became too radical for even their own party to accept and to support.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was on Laura Trump's The Right View back in, I think it was February. And I remember saying the pendulum has swung so far, like they've just sunk themselves. And people, even on the left, have just woken up and said, I am not going to, tolerate this anymore. Like, it's just gone too crazy. And so I have faith in the American people. Obviously, I do now. And I'm just so thankful that, they said, no, we're not going to. I think a lot of moms, too, especially this election, said, this gender insanity, what's going on in the schools, like, they might not like everything about Trump, but they realize he is the best person for this job. And so that's what I'm really thankful for. I just feel, I'm driving through California with my Trump, sticker on the back of my car, and I'm getting people coming up to me, thumbs up.
Love
And
it.
so it's just a relief. And I'm just so thankful that, the people let their voices be heard.
That's absolutely right. And what I find incredibly interesting also is that I think Kamala kind of like Trump's platform as well, because you saw her basically talking about conservative policy, reducing taxes, being tough on crime, being tough
Mhm.
on the border. I mean, it was so awful to have to listen to that because it was like she hadn't been like anywhere near Washington 3.5 years. And I'm like, it was incredibly challenging to listen to her say that because I'm like, you act like you don't even know where DC is. Like, you're this new person to DC. But I mean, she knew what the populace wanted to hear, right? Because she was saying all these conservative things. And Carrie, I thought it was super fascinating. She didn't bring up trans one time. We didn't see her waving the trans flag.
Right.
We didn't hear her talk about men and women's spaces and that this was a right. I mean, really, her platform was abortion, which
Yeah.
that is not. I think that's too much of an abstract concept. Abstract concept, even for independents. I mean, the independents are
Mhm.
like, listen, we want to stop the invasion, we want to stop murdering of innocent victims, and we want to be able to afford our groceries. I mean, that is
Mhm.
what people cared about, and she just was on this abortion platform.
Yeah, that's really what she ran on. And what's interesting that you say that about the trans issue. Remember the video that they had resurfaced of her saying that she was championing the men that were delusional, thinking that they were women in the prisons, and she wanted to support them
Right.
getting gender reassignment. Like that is so insane. How can you be a champion for women and yet be okay with boys going in girls' sports, boys pretending to be girls? Like this is insane. And now these men in these prisons, it's evident that they're mentally ill. And so why not get them the help that they need? Why would you pay for them to have a, sex change, which isn't even possible? I don't think you can transition your gender. I think that's a made up thing. But yeah, you're right. I think she ran on abortion. And I think that the American people said, nope, we're
No.
pro-life.
Yeah, and even if they hadn't really, because I think some people, as it relates to abortion, they think, yes, maybe it's not good, but it doesn't affect them personally. They haven't had one. Their kids are growing up in a conservative home. They're obviously most likely not going to have an abortion, and it's not something that really affects them on a day-to-day basis. But when they go in and pay $6 for a dozen eggs, now that does affect them. Or when they're filling up their tank and gas is $4 and something a gallon, that is what really affects them. And so I think it was so fascinating to have two incumbents running against each other, because I mean, I always loved when President Trump would say, is your life better now than it was 3.5 years ago? I mean, it's really that simple. It boiled down to, you can compare apples to apples. It's not somebody giving you all these promises like, when I go in, I'm going to fix this. I mean, she kept saying, turn the page, right? And I'm like, what? Turn the page in your own book? Like, I don't know. We go to a different book, or we want to actually go back to the other book that worked really well for us. And she's like, just turn the page. And it just, she was just such a dismal failure. And you can see why she didn't do very many interviews, because she didn't really have a platform and couldn't really articulate one if she had one very well. But I wanted to ask you, Carrie, I just saw this recently and I didn't know if you'd seen Vanity Fair. They have this cover and it says, it has Trump on it. It says Vanity Fair. And then it lists on the left all these things. And it says 34 felony counts, one conviction, 2 cases pending, 2 impeachments, 6 bankruptcies, 4 more years. And then it says the 47th American president. And everybody is like, heck yeah, that's our man. Like, everybody's commenting in support of that. And, I just, when I saw that, I thought, you tried everything. You tried
Mm-hmm.
to bankrupt him. You tried to impeach him. They kept him so busy when he was president with all those lawsuits, yet he almost finished a border. First president in American history to do anything of that size. No wars. The brokering peace in the Middle East. I mean, these things that were so monumental. And yet, she's like, oh, saying if he becomes president, you're going to have this Nazi dictator. We're going to destroy democracy. And yet we know what he did was so insurmountable, and doing it while he was being attacked and now shot it and attempted murder twice. I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
more than just, a political opponent. This is a spiritual enemy.
Yeah, you're right. It is. And I think, looking back at 2020, we were all so upset when I mean, I believe it was a rigged election. That's just my opinion. But we were so upset and so discouraged, and we're like, why, Lord? Like, why did you allow this to happen? And now I feel like the Lord is so good, because he's like, this is why I needed you to see all the stuff that has come out. I wanted, you to go through a little bit of the fire to really test your faith and to see, do you trust me? And now look at, like, had Trump been president in 2020, they would have
Yeah.
done more impeachments, more stuff, more attacks. He probably, I mean, even though he's amazing, he probably would have got a lot accomplished. But imagine what he can get accomplished now with the House and the Senate. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's just this beautiful, like full circle of just how good God is and how he spared his life. And that's why I had no doubts. I knew that he was going to be president. And I'm just so grateful to God. And God gets all the glory in this.
Yeah, and I remember when I interviewed Laura Trump about a year ago, a little over a year ago, she was saying the same thing. She said, Miriam, if he would have won in 2020, none of this would have been exposed. And now that we're seeing this red wave, and we have the
Mm-hmm.
Senate and hopefully the House, and have him at the helm, and possibly the popular vote as well as the electoral. I mean, talk about dominating in all of these areas, so that his work will be unobstructed. And
Yeah.
when I think about it that way, and I look back at 2020, and I think, that would have been his second term in office, and really how restricted his
Hmm.
abilities would have been had he won. And we wouldn't have seen all this demonic corruption and all of this activity. And it was like the Lord used that Romans 8:28, where he says, all things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And it was like the curtains were pulled back and we could see inside to see, all the activity that was going on that had been going on for years, and we just didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I had a conversation with my mom yesterday, and she's in her late 60s, almost 70 years old. And she goes, Carrie, I couldn't even tell you who was president in the 80s. Like, we didn't care. We didn't. And I said, isn't that amazing how Donald Trump made you care about politics? Donald Trump is the one that brought back patriotism. And I mean, look at these hats right here. Like,
Yeah.
make America great again. Like, it's everybody should be on board for that. We should all want America to be great. And so it's just, if you take a step back and you realize what he's done and all the good things that he's accomplished, but you're exactly right. There would have been limits to that. And so we just have to be so thankful. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait for January. I cannot wait for him to be inaugurated and
Hey,
just take that out.
You want to go to the inauguration with me?
Yes, let's
Let's do
go.
it.
I went in 2016. I'm like, I gotta go back.
Okay, let's do it. Well, I was wondering, being in California, if you could tolerate the cold, because it's pretty cold.
I know. I'm a little bit of a baby in the cold.
Yeah. Well, I think the adrenaline will be flowing so much that my husband said the same thing. I'm like, do you want to go to the inauguration? It's literally his birthday is January 20th. And I was like, what a great birthday present.
Yes.
He doesn't love crowds, and it's like so cold. He hates the cold. And I was like, yeah, I'll ask Carrie. But
Yeah, let's go.
yeah, it just sounds like so amazing. And that's what I think is so cool. And being a Christian, I know the left wants to say, oh, Trump, you guys are acting like he's, God, and that he's come to save the world. And no, Jesus is our savior and our Lord, but Donald Trump is our president. And, there's a scripture in Proverbs that says, when the righteous are in power, that people rejoice, but when, the wicked are in authority, the people groan. And, there's the Bible, that's true. And that was the same then as it is now. And so we're rejoicing. I almost feel like, I mean, it's analogous to, the Egyptians or the Israelites leaving Egypt, and it's like being free. And yet, once you're free, it's still work. And so
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts, Carrie, about going forward? So, everybody was so laser focused, working so hard to win this election, get the truth out, expose the radical left, the gender ideology, the invasion of our southern border, all the things, right? But now, what do you think would be next wise steps for conservative Christian Americans, moms, dads, all of them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one thing that's really important for me and for everybody listening is to get together in your communities. Change starts at the local level. And so, yes, we've had our eyes on the national election with Trump and all these props and things like that. But you know what? It starts small. It starts at your school board meetings. It starts at your city council meetings, your county board of supervisors meetings. And so I would suggest getting together with a group of patriots in your local cities and start building there, start strategizing, meeting weekly, going into the city. There is a law, Lemon, and it is dead. And and what it means is the statutes, like the Ten Commandments and the nativity scenes used to not be allowed. And now that Lemon, this case, is the Supreme Court decided that Lemon is dead, that it wasn't good law. And so it's been eliminated. And so now is our opportunity to get the Ten Commandments put up in the city hall, to bring back prayer in our city council meetings, to start with prayer. And so we really have to take back at the local level and in our small communities. And so that's really where it starts. I'm thankful that Trump is our president, and yes, he's going to be our leader, but it's up to us. We are the patriots behind him. He's the general. We're the patriots. We need to start going onto the battlefield, strategizing, and then fighting back and reclaiming territory. So that's really my goal in the next few months.
And you're speaking from experience, because I know you, and I know you're doing all those things you recommend. And, folks can message you, right? Like they could message you on Instagram and ask you if they have any questions about their local schools or their
Yeah,
cities. They can find you on Instagram and message you there. And I know that that's how I met you and you
yeah.
responded. It was so kind with your time and so helpful. And I wanted to just say, this battle that is raging right now, the spiritual battle. I mean, it's been going on since the creation of America. I mean, we've had the Battle of 1812. I mean, the British didn't want to let us go completely, and I know that you're a lover of America. Your grandfather, obviously, being a veteran. I would love for you to share one more time. I know you did this on the last show, but share with us what his advice that he gave you.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather fought in World War II, and I'll never forget. Every time he would talk about, fighting for our country, he would sob, and he would just say, "Carrie, all of my men, that were beside me, a lot of them were injured, some of them died." And he said, "Don't ever let anybody take away your freedoms. We fought for your freedoms, freedom of speech and freedom of expression, freedom to protest and petition, and so that's really what is so beautiful about our Constitution is that we have the freedom. Like we have the ability to go and to speak and to protest peacefully, obviously, and to petition things. And so if we're organized, that's what the left is really good at. I must give them credit. They are organized. When you go to this school board meetings, they're super organized. They have the same shirts. They get there earlier than, the parents. They fill the rooms with teachers, teachers unions, teachers and all of that. And so we just have to really recognize that it starts small. We must get organized, but never let anybody take your freedoms away from you. And so I'll never forget, I don't know if you saw my school board speech from Encinitas right here. And there was a lady at the front and she wouldn't let any of the parents in. And she was wearing these rainbow earrings and rainbow everything. And I called her Rainbow Lady. I'm like, Rainbow Lady, let the parents in. Like, we have the right to protest and to be here and to assemble. Like, let them in. And it's just walking in your authority as an American and knowing your rights, knowing history like you do so well. So that's really the goal. I want to encourage people to get engaged in civics, get engaged with what's going on at your local levels. And that's really how we create change.
Yes, and invite your children to come along with you. I mean, obviously, if they're too young and that would scare them, or if conflict was not that young, but like if they're teenagers, I remember taking my son to a city council meeting. It was over a mask mandate, and I mean, it just the history books come alive. And I was leading prayer election night at my church with the youth group there, and just talking to them and saying, do you pray for America? Do you care who's like? Just because teenagers, they're dealing with a lot of important stuff in their world, but I think it's so important to include them and take them along, even if they don't want to go see the movie Reagan. Make them go see it and make it relevant, because here's the thing. I mean, freedom is freedom for everyone, including teenagers, and they're not. If we were to become the communist states of America, I was
Mhm.
you can't just wear that sweatshirt. You can't just,
Yeah.
have your Instagram and your phone. And I mean, the government gives you, well, actually over in these other communist states. I mean, Iran, I mean, they have, if they don't have enough money for their regular internet, they have the government internet, which it's a little bit cheaper, or a lot cheaper, but they're being spied on. I mean,
Mhm.
this is the way it works. And so I was trying to communicate to them that this affects everyone. It's not just
Mhm.
freedom isn't just for adults, it's for all of us, right? And I wanted to tell you, Cal Coolidge, our 30th president, he said the strength of our country is the strength of its religious convictions. And so, way back then, and even some of our presidents who weren't obviously Christian, but they knew the power of a moral society. And I think that, even if you're a Democrat, even if you're a liberal, I mean, you have to rejoice in the fact that inflation is going to be coming down, our border is going to be secure. I mean, these are not partisan issues. I mean, this is freedom and safety, and good economics affect everyone. And so that's why, I'm hoping at some level that once this settles down, that folks can at least rejoice in the fact that our country is, like you said, I mean, who doesn't want a better America? We all want a better America because it affects all of us.
Yeah, and the people who don't want a better America, they can go somewhere else. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
be happy to buy their plane ticket.
I'll make sure I tell them that. Who's going to buy your one-way ticket? Carrie
Yeah.
Boller. Well, And I love that you are so engaged. I love how your grandfather planted those seeds in your heart when you were a young girl, and
Mhm.
clearly they remained. I mean, and folks, I encourage you to go back and listen to my interview with Carrie. She wrote a book, Still Standing, and she talks about how, I mean, she was really set up and should be Miss USA 2009. And she was set up with this politically charged question. And she did the right thing before God, and God clearly blessed her for that. But she went through the fire, and she shows us how, we can go through the fire too, and Jesus will deliver us, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, just like Carrie, he's going to deliver you as well. So, but before we close, Carrie, I would love for you to talk to us about Bella Grace Jewelry. So I saw this on your Instagram page. And so I was just curious, is this something that you started, or do you rep for somebody else, or is this your company?
Yeah, this is my company. I am the owner and creator of Bella Grace Jewelry. I named it after my daughter, Grace, and I am an Italian American. I don't know if many people know, but I actually just became an Italian citizen.
Oh, you
Um,
did.
yes, yes. So I'm Italian. I'm an Italian American, and my grandfather, who actually fought in World War II, he was 100% Italian. My mom's 100%. And so I just love being Italian American. And so I named my company Bella Grace, so beautiful Grace.
Yes.
And yeah, it's amazing. I make everything by hand. I design everything by myself. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I started it probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And um, I'm not a good salesperson. I'm just like, I love beautiful things. And so I have a couple girls that work for me that do a lot of my Instagram stuff. But yeah, it's called Bella Grace Jewelry. You can find me on Instagram. And I would love to share it with everybody. I
And
made
that
this.
MAGA necklace, right? That's from Bella. That's really cool. I love. And Sage
Yeah.
Steele, I think she was wearing that the night of the election, that you are friends with her and
Mhm.
you gave her one. So what else? So you have necklaces, earrings,
Yeah.
a little bit of
Yeah, I
everything.
do. Yeah, I make everything. So I have necklaces, earrings, bracelets. I have like a higher end line, which I do like custom pieces. If you ever want like to upgrade your wedding ring, I do that. I have an amazing, certified GIA diamond guy that I work with. So yeah, I do it all. And I beat anyone's price.
Oh my gosh. This should not surprise me, but I didn't even know about the higher end jewelry. This is
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about today because I've seen it, but I've never had a conversation with you about this because we've had so many other political things to talk about. So how could folks order from Bella Grace?
Yeah. So you can go on my website, bellagraceshop.com, and I have all my stuff on there. Or if there's something that you've seen on my Instagram that isn't on my website, because I am a very small business. So it's hard for me to keep up while I'm trying to get Trump reelected.
Right.
You can just message me on Instagram and I'd be happy to just drop ship it to you. But yeah, I'm super excited and hope that my business keeps thriving and it's a Christian business. So that's one thing. If you want to support Christian small businesses, please head over to Bella Grace Jewelry.
Absolutely. And we can buy jewelry in a lot of places, but I think that it's so important that we vote with our dollars and that we
Mhm.
spend them with folks whose ideology and values align with ours. Because, like you said, the left is so organized, and this is a way
Mhm.
that we can organize, not just getting involved, like you were suggesting, but also just being mindful and intentional with where we spend our money. So, I will be shopping at Bella Grace and I will be getting a few things. And Christmas is coming. How fun it would
Yes.
be, and girlfriends sometimes, they don't want to spend a ton of money, but they want to give something meaningful. And this would be a
Yes.
gift to give to another mama that you've
Yes.
been, supporting and connecting with throughout the year.
Yeah.
Or your girls like sticking a necklace in their stocking or something like that. That
Yes.
would be fun too.
Oh, I haven't posted yet, but I just made these t-shirts. So I started doing some little t-shirts, just subtle, like if you're at the kids' games or whatever, and you want to just have a subtle little something, not like a huge like Trump or MAGA.
Right.
So I have little white shirts with black old English writing that say Christ is King. And then I have another one that I just made. It's you're gonna laugh. It's catless child lady.
Oh my gosh. That's great. You're so
So
creative.
yeah.
I love it. Well, wait, what about that shirt that, and you probably didn't make this, so I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but I did see, okay, everybody go to her Instagram
Oh
page.
yeah.
She's dancing with her husband. She's one of the most creative. She makes the best reels of anyone I know. And but you had a t-shirt on that it looked like it was
yes.
That
it was Trump dancing. And so if you go to @Donald Trump_2024, that's where I bought it. So you guys can go on there and check it out. Yeah.
Okay. And then tell us your Instagram.
Yes. So follow me at Carrie Prejean Boller on Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's where you're most active, right?
I would say, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for all that you've done and you're going to continue to do to now keep America great once we lock arms locally with other believers and conservatives to help fix our nation and restore it back to godly values on which it was founded. So thank you so much. Thank you for your friendship and thanks for joining me today.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Love you too, friend. Well, I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed talking with Carrie Prejean Boller. She's such an inspiration. She encourages us to get involved at a local level. The battle may be over, but the war is not. It's really just begun, and it depends on us. President-elect Donald J. Trump's depending on us to get involved locally because a lot of damage has occurred. And it's going to take all of us to lock arms together to fight in this war and attempt to restore what's been destroyed over the last 4 years. Head over to our website, momsonamission.net. We have all of our shows there. Would love to hear from you. Email us at moms@momsonamission.net. Comment, give us some show ideas, or join the conversation about what just happened. The greatest comeback story in political history happened on Tuesday. I would love to know what you think. And then, of course, share this broadcast with others who need to get involved or who would benefit and who align with us with these thoughts. And so thank you so much for being here. Thanks for supporting this broadcast. It just doesn't go on with nobody supporting, and you make all the difference in the world. So we're so incredibly grateful. So until next time, keep fighting, keep standing for truth, and may God bless you, and may God bless America. Hey, everybody. Did you know that recent research from the CDC says that millions of Americans develop parasitic infections and symptoms often go unnoticed or are misdiagnosed? Parasites are actually the cause of many health problems such as anxiety, depression, chronic pain, fatigue, and unexplained digestive issues. We all need a common sense strategy to improve our health. Moms on a Mission encourages you to reach out to our good friend, Dr. Jason Dean. Dr. Dean's Full Moon Protocol provides all natural detoxification and fights inflammation. And the supplements are made with 100% organic ingredients and are proven to kill parasites safely and effectively. I know after I took Full Moon Protocol, I had more energy. To order your Full Moon Protocol today, go to bravetv.store/mission to save $20 off your first order. That's bravetv.store/mission. According to leading sleep experts and sleephealth.org, over 50 million Americans struggle getting a good night's rest. That's why Moms on a Mission loves MyPillow. MyPillow makes amazing pillows, sheets, mattress toppers, robes, towels, literally almost everything you need for a good night's sleep. They also make dog beds for your dogs. So by going to mypillow.com, typing in the code MISSION, you not only receive a high quality product, but you're supporting Moms on a Mission and this podcast. If you like what you're hearing and you agree with it, you believe in it, and you want to support Moms on a Mission, then go to mypillow.com today and order some high quality products and just type in the code MISSION at checkout and you can save up to 66% off. That's mypillow.com, code MISSION.
Since 2014, Organic Body Essentials has offered clean, simple, certified organic skincare. Our organic face-to-feet and federally compliant hemp and pet products are manufactured under USDA and FDA guidelines. Our products are inspired by God using plants He created. In Ezekiel 47:12, it says, "The fruit is for food and the leaves for healing." We believe in the power of God to heal, so we pray over our products and for our customers. Our therapy in a bottle approach has been widely received, and our customers' testimonials continue to inspire us. You can find us at organicbodyessentials.com and obe.organicbodyessentials.com. Please feel welcome to reach out with questions. Use coupon code MISSION at checkout for a discount. Thank you for your support by using MISSION at checkout to benefit Moms on a Mission and their quest to reestablish traditional values in our education system and empowerment for a healthy lifestyle.